Bonjour et bienvenue à Fluent French. Hello and welcome to Fluent French. In today's video, we are exploring the fascinating world of les verbes en IR. And by the end of this video, you will understand key learning points and the whole concept with usages. So, if you are ready to expand your knowledge, let's get started. And before that, let me tell you for more such learning videos, do subscribe the channel and do not forget to press the bell icon. Lastly, ensure that you will watch till the end for more such learning points and tips and summary. Okay, we are beginning with conjugation overview. In the previous video of ER ending verbs, we have seen many of the tips and tricks and also the steps how to conjugate the verbs. And now we are again looking forward to all the conjugation overview that how we have to conjugate. Understanding IR verb conjugation over here. IR verbs in French follow a specific pattern. You can see over here where the endings differ based on the subject noun. Every time you conjugate the verb, it is only based on the subject pronoun. Identifying this pattern is key to mastering the language, the best and the most important point. Next, common IR verbs. We will see what are the common IR verbs which we use in everyday conversations. Defining each verb. Basically, understanding their meanings and context will enhance both speaking and writing skills in French, making communication more effective. Now we'll see what are the common used IR verbs. Some of the most common IR verbs include finir, that means to finish, choisir, that means to choose, grandir, that means to grow. These verbs are frequently used in everyday conversations, and one of them we are going to see. Conjugation steps. Now, again, we are having some steps over here to conjugate the IR verbs as well. So, we have taken this verb that is finir, that means to finish. You can clearly see on the screen. Now, what are the steps? So, step 1, identify the base form of the verb. And base form of the verb we have learned very carefully and very effectively in our previous video of ER ending verbs conjugations. So if you don't know what are base form of the verbs, so you have to look to that video first of all. Now, what are the base form of the verb? Base form of the verb is this, finir, that is known as infinitive form as well. Next, step 2, remove the IR from the verb. Now, what is the step 2? We have taken this verb finir as the base form, and now step 2 is saying remove that IR from the verb. We have to remove that IR from the verb to conjugate it. Okay. Next, step 3 is saying write down all the subject pronouns in the serial manner. Now we have to write all the subject pronouns in the serial manner. That is je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. Next, let's see step 4. Step 4 is saying write down the radical with all the subject pronouns. Now we have to write down the radical. This radical word as well we have learned in our previous video of ER ending verbs, how we have formed radical. Basically, by removing that IR from the verb, we are left with radical, that is FIN. So the step is saying Write down the radical with all the subject pronouns. In the previous step, we have written the subject pronouns in the serial manner, and we are writing in this step all the radicals with the subject pronouns. Now, step 5 is saying, and the step 5 is the most important step over here, which is the last step of verb conjugation. Add the appropriate IR verb endings according to the subject pronoun. We have to add appropriate. Let me say once again, appropriate IR verb ending we have to put with the subject pronoun according to the subject pronoun. According to je, it is fini. Let me make you more clear about it. Okay. Okay, so you can see over here the subject pronoun is je and we have written is over here. Why? Because according to je, the ir ending is is. According to tu, it is again is. According to it is it. According to nu, it is issons. According to wu, it is issez. According to it is issent. So you have to learn these endings, basically ir endings, according to the subject pronoun to conjugate the verb ir ending. Now let's move. Here we are having some practice activities. Now, what does practice activities says? Engaging in conjugation exercises, basically to make yourself perfect, and it is written over here as well. Practice makes perfect. Engaging in exercises that requires you to conjugate various IR verbs across different subjects. So repeat these regularly for mastery. And what are the summary and tips? Key points and conjugation tips. Basically, remember the conjugation pattern as we have studied, and common IR verbs. What are the common IR verbs we generally use during our daily life? And you have to practice regularly for retention and consider flashcards for continuous review. I hope all the IR ending verbs are clear and the process step by step is also clear. I hope you will do the practice. Merci.